Hello everyone, Kushti is here and I'm going to provide another now general presentation on ChainCash. Part 1 was technical and part 2 is not so. So ChainCash part 2, unstoppable free banking. And let's start with motivation. So what was motivation for thinking about ChainCash, working on it and now announcing it. So let's observe the current state of the cryptocurrency space. While the space is now booming again in the media, the state is actually not that good. The industry is creating a lot of speculative assets and tools for speculations. Those tools and assets can be useful for real world needs, but that's not the case, unfortunately. And the space is even trying not to talk about money and creation of money and Bitcoin as digital gold and other cryptocurrencies not used as high quality collateral for real world needs, while there is need for high quality collateral to issue more money in many parts of the world right now. So what can we do better in such environment? We can create a framework for issuing money on top of proof of work, a digital gold collateral, give it disruptive power to rework financial systems by creating unstoppable peer-to-peer free banking system. And let's consider details a bit later. Now let me share my thoughts on audience I'm thinking about when I'm giving this presentation. So this presentation is for builders and investors, not necessarily understanding cryptocurrency in details, but interesting in reworking the financial systems of the modern world and making them more fair, transparent, and more efficient also. So currently we have a set of ideas and contracts for the Ergo blockchain, and still a lot of thought work, coding work, design and so on is needed to shape it. So we invite contributors to come and shape the future of money we need for builders, thinkers, promoters, we need for grants, investments, and so on. So there is need for basically everything at this point. All right, and with this point of view, let's dive into details a bit. So this is some picture from internet about evolution of money. So as you can see from primitive forms of money, centuries, in some places thousands of years ago, from primitive systems, people started to use gold at some point, then metal coins, then paper money, and well, there is an important distinction here. So initially paper money were issued as IOU notes for gold, and then in 20th century fiat money appeared, which are not backed by gold or any real assets anymore, only by trust to government issuing paper money. Then electronic money, cryptocurrencies, and well, while this picture is showing cryptocurrencies as continuation of electronic money, and well, in some regard that's true. We can also see cryptocurrencies, at least proof of work cryptocurrencies, as kind of digital gold. And then cryptocurrencies as well as gold not popular as medium of exchange, despite even attempts to make them popular in some place around the world, such as El Salvador. So then we can think about continuing the evolution by doing paper money, IOU nodes on top of cryptocurrencies to get elasticity of money supply needed for economies to thrive. And this is what ChainCash is about in short. So ChainCash is about going from digital commodities such as proof-of-work cryptocurrencies, but not only, to freely issue digital kind of paper money IOU nodes. And this issuance is happening in a peer-to-peer environment. And historically, this is similar to early paper money monetary systems without state involved, such as Hawala, which appeared around Silk Road centuries ago and was one of the earliest systems with paper money as IOU nodes issuance. And then free banking systems, which were around back in 19th century, in 20th as well. So there were a lot of banks issuing own notes in the US before 1913, in Scotland, Canada, many places around the world. But now we can have such peer-to-peer systems with transparency of bank reserves, thanks to blockchain ledgers, and some smart contract guarantees, thanks blockchains again. Alright, and now in the 21st century we have digital peer-to-peer networks, and anyone can join and can leave the ChainCash peer-to-peer network at any moment. And to join, you need to run some server which is freely available and open sourced. And interactions between peers are done via Ergo blockchain and other means. So maybe some customized peer-to-peer network or existing peer-to-peer messaging network, such as Nostr protocol, for example, or via web services even. Details does not matter much here. And what peers can do in the network. So everyone may have reserves in Ergs or other digital tokens, such as algorithmic stablecoins, such as Sigma USD, NFTs, application tokens, tokenized real-world assets, centrally issued stablecoins, and so on. And everyone may issue nodes of arbitrary values with or even without reserves. And then a node may be accepted by counterparty or rejected, depending on collateral and trust to an issuer. And a node may be redeemed against any reserve of its previous spenders. And if previous spender is not about the first spender in the spending chain, then a spender can re-redeem again against earlier spender's reserve later. So redemption is going back to the first spender, to the issuer. All right, and initially for the ChainCash system, the only one unit of account is used. There is no mandatory requirement for that even, but yeah, maybe it will be the case for a long time, who knows. So this unit of account is gold, so one ChainCash token in current implementation is about 1 milligram of gold. And let's consider some spending chain examples now. So for example, we may consider Alice having some reserve, issuing a note, and then she pays Bob with it, possibly partially, so it's possible to split a note into two, and then Alice is paying with one part with Bob and leaving another to self. So basically having a change by that. And then Bob, for example, signs it and pays Charlie. Charlie signs pay to Diana. And Diana now redeems the note in Ergs according to a gold price delivered by an oracle. And she is redeeming in our example against Bob reserve. And then Bob may redeem against Alice later. Alright, let's consider another example now without reserves. We have issuance. So Charlie, for example, is running a charity and he is issuing a note without any reserves attached even. And Alice is accepting it as Charlie is whitelisted by her. And then she pays Bob with the note. Bob signs it, pays Charlie. And, well, Charlie redeems the note against Alice reserve. Alright, so we considered only positive scenarios here, but any of participants may reject a note or may hold it to, well, redeem later or pass it further later. So, well, the ChainCash system is not introducing any additional rules, just the very simple rules stated already. And by having simple rules, we may have very complex behavior of participants here. And well, this kind of freedom is why we are calling it free banking. So every peer again can issue notes with or without reserves, and also, well, every peer may accept or not a note based on its own individual white and black lists and level of collateralization. As this could be complex for many peers, we may imagine some standards to emerge, standards for white lists, for collateralization, and so on. And even more, a peer may recognize some contracts. So contract standards are provided in CCIP's documents. CCIP stands for ChainCash Improvement Proposal. And peer can support only a subset of CCIP. So currently there is only one set of standards. One standard, CCIP 0, but we may imagine more options with different parameters. For example, CCIP 0 has a redemption fee of 2%, but we can imagine other options. We may imagine notes with some demurrage payments and so on. And Well, peer may recognize some forms of collateral or not. So, for example, if a note is backed by tokenized physical gold stored in Dubai vault, for example, then yeah, maybe it makes sense to accept it in Dubai, but not in Montevideo or in Mongolia. So, well, it's up to peers what to do with different forms of collateral as well. All right, and with such freedom, such simple rules, and with transparency of blockchain and so on, what could be possible outcomes for money issuance for monetary systems? So we may expect for different sub-networks to emerge within the ChainCash network. So, for example, we may imagine trust-based community-level monetary systems, such as local exchange trading systems, community currencies, and so on. So such systems will run without any reserves, purely based on trust in small communities. Then when trust is not possible, so for example in a global environment, when a peer from Mongolia is paying to peer in Argentina, then we may expect for nodes here for ChainCash subnetworks to be totally trustless, collateral based, and then they will operate pretty much like cryptocurrency backed algorithmic stable coins. We may imagine sub options in between, so with agents with known operations and existing for a long time. We may imagine that they will have some trust, and then they can have reserve not covering all the liabilities, and in this case such subnetworks would remain fractional reserve free banking systems. All right. And in regards with money issuance, we may imagine that money issuance power, to a certain degree at least, will go to commodity producers. So to proof of work backed digital commodities producers, means cryptocurrency miners, and also tokenized real world commodities producers, such as gold miners, for example. This could be a game changer for money issuance. And asset owners and commodity producers, instead of lending, instead of borrowing money needed for their businesses, can issue money backed, but what do they own? And this could change a lot as well. And with trust, some notions of trust here, ChainCash network allows for elasticity of supply, but at the same time it is not compromising everyone for greater elasticity. So if some agent in the network has conservative risk profile, the network is not enforcing this agent to lower down risk profile. So it's up to peers to accept certain risk levels, and then elasticity of supply is not enforcing people to accept more risks if they're not buying it. That's it. So my intention was to have a short presentation with a very general overview of the system and some thoughts on it. And you can find more information by following the links provided. So we have white paper draft, still raw, but slowly improving. We have contracts, pretty polished contracts for the Ergo blockchain. So we have a ChainCash server done in Rust programming language, just started. We have first ChainCash improvement proposals supported by ChainCash server CCIP 0, and there is a presentation made 1 year ago with more technical details, but maybe some things outdated, but not much, I guess. And again, this presentation is for builders and investors. We need for coders, we need for grants, investments, monetary thinkers, and so on. And so I'm going to provide invite to a Telegram group. Please join if you are willing to contribute. See you there. Thank you.